Living in hell. Chicago's an example. It's like worse than Afghanistan. They're anarchists. The big thing they want is they want to really destabilize our country, and we don't let them. They've created bedlam. They've destroyed very important things. I mean, you're also talking about statues of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. They'd like to get Jesus. We're going to get tougher and tougher. And at some point, there's going to be retribution, because there has to be. These people are vandals, but they're agitators, but they're terrorists in a sense.
The president isn't the only one fed up with what we've been seeing. A Chicago activist calling out Black Lives Matter for not focusing enough on the gun violence plaguing his community.
The entire nation should be outraged when a 3-year-old is executed on the streets of Chicago, and a 13-year-old young girl was killed on the west side of Chicago as well. It makes no sense to me if we continue to stand up against the system, but we will not stand up in our own neighborhood.
Meanwhile, Sleepy Joe Biden under fire from the left for not embracing the radical defund the police movement. Political insiders are worried the Democrat base will reject Biden if he doesn't get on board. All right, Greg, what did you think about the president using the phrase terrorists when talking about the agitators and the looters?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think words are enough anymore. I think that there needs to be some kind of action, and I'm not sure what it is, but what I find interesting is the gun violence in Chicago is a reality. What you're seeing going on in America is a racial hysteria. So why is one gaining attention and the other isn't? And I believe that the worst thing a black community can do as a whole is take advice from coddled, white, over-caffeinated, over-educated, under-experienced, left-wing individuals. Because look at the consequences. The black-on-black crime or the gang violence and the gun violence is ignored, but everybody's running around tearing down statues. So I want to end the race war that we seem to be experiencing today. I'm going to blow your mind with this, okay? There are more differences and conflict within whites than there are between whites and blacks. There are more conflicts and differences between whites than there are between whites and blacks. When you look at those pasty white wimps out there running around vandalizing and destroying property, I realize that I have absolutely nothing in common with these laughable losers. And in fact, when anybody looks at the TV, they realize they have nothing in common as a white person with these failures. So it's insulting to me, and it should be insulting to every white person, that you think that race binds us. It doesn't bind us. I have more in common with black winners than white losers. And that's the truth of all human beings. What ties us together is achievement and not grievance. So white winners and black winners are on the same side, and stay away from the white losers, because they are poisoning the minds of everybody. That will end racism if all the winners of every race and color join together and laugh at the losers.
Yeah, I like that idea. Juan Williams, we talked about it yesterday. BET founder saying that a lot of black Americans just laugh at these, as Greg would say, pasty white losers tearing down statues and canceling TV shows because they think, you know, that doesn't mean much.
Well, I'm here to defend my white brothers. This is really wild. Look, I think what's going on here is President Trump is desperate. His poll numbers have cratered. And when he was asked last night on Sean Hannity's town hall meeting, you know, what's coming next? What's your message? What's your agenda? He really didn't have much to say. He says he's experienced, he's great, everything will be great. So what he does, Jesse, is he takes a few instances of looting or bad behavior and he blows it up. Suddenly, cities are war zones. Afghanistan. Suddenly, these people are terrorists. They're so powerful. They're threatening our social fabric. I mean, the reality is that his messaging
I think if you lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you'd probably agree that it did look like a war zone because everything's on fire and it cost $1 billion in damage.
Now, look, you can keep showing the same footage again and again and again. But let me just say,
it's real.
Don't trust me on this. Don't trust me. Listen to the Wall Street Journal. In their lead editorial this morning, they said Trump is headed for a historic loss as millions of Americans are close to saying that they can't risk 4 more years of this. They can't stand it. They're talking about suburbanites. They're talking about women. They're even talking about seniors abandoning Trump. And I think that's why he's engaged in this kind of horrible imagery and language, because he doesn't have a message.
He's not killing people in
Okay, well, I
Chicago.
think-
He's not looting.